which champions are going to stay on top September 21st at Night of Champions. Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason. Um, some of you may be watching this and thinking, wow, this is kind of early to be doing this. Well, we pretty much have the full, complete card laid out for us. Was revealed this past um, main event. The rest of the the card for the pay-per-view coming up 2 Sundays from now on September 21st, Night of Champions. The only thing we don't know is the pre-show, and well, considering what's left for the pre-show, I'm sure I'll watch it, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not concerned about waiting for it to make it a part of my predictions and preview video, which is what this is for Night of Champions. The only thing that could be left is a Fandango match or an Adam Rose match or a Bo Dallas match. It would be something comical, and that's fine. That's fine. That's I'm not worried about it though. So, whatever they make for the pre-show, which I don't even know if they made one for the pre-show last time. I don't think they did. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, here we go. Night of Champions. It looks like it's a pretty good card. We've got 8 matches, and that's a pretty solid card, especially going into this last week and a half before the pay-per-view itself. And I'm gonna do something different. I wrote down the whole list. Can't see it because of the lighting. Sorry. I wrote down the whole list of people on the card, and usually I go through the list and I pick my winners. I'm changing it up. I'm not doing something earth-shattering or anything, but I'm doing this prediction and this talk live, as in I'm making my decisions live as I'm recording this. I didn't do this beforehand and checked off each one like I normally do. So I'm doing this a little differently. So just bear with me. We'll see how this works. Like I said, there's 8 matches. We're going to start from what I feel is, I don't know, I guess you can call it least significant. It doesn't really matter to this pay-per-view, but it's still, it's still good matches. It's called Night of Champions, which means all the championships are supposed to be, on the line or defended or whatever. But there are other matches. So we're going to start with the ones that aren't championship based. Okay. So we're going to start out with Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton. This is one of those that really hasn't been going on significantly until this last Monday night, the season premiere of Raw, where he attacked Chris Jericho in the back. They touched on it a little bit when the Authority came out and talked to Chris Jericho when he did his highlight reel, and he was cutting on Randy Orton, and so you had a feeling something was going to brew, but it wasn't real. It wasn't super evident, in my opinion. Some people could probably tell. I was like, well, they might do something. Who knows? It was still kind of on the edge, and then they decided to do the last matches between Roman Reigns and Randy Orton, which was great, and Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt in the cage, which in my opinion was one of the best matches of the night. Then they decided to go with Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, which I'll get to in a bit. But for now, Jericho versus Orton. This, unfortunately, is going to be, as far as we know, Chris Jericho's exit from the company once again. We don't really know when he's going to be back. like to assume around the time of the Royal Rumble, but I don't know what his touring is going to be like. I don't know what's up with his band. And right now, like he's said in other interviews, I think his family and his band come first. And then when he has free time and he can work out something that's going to matter with Vince. If they discuss some plans for some rivalries that look like they're going to work on television, then he'll come back. And I'd say this run overall with Chris Jericho has been a successful one. And you can't. I don't think it's fair to say, oh well, he lost some matches, so it's not successful. No, that's not true. You got to look at who he faced and how the matches were themselves. I'd say his rivalry with Bray Wyatt was very well done. I'm not sure how much it really helped Bray Wyatt, but in my opinion, I think it did. Um, I think it made him. Uh, it kept him significant, and I think it made him even more significant. The fact that Bray Wyatt has been able to defeat a former champion. I think that says something. So that being said, Chris Jericho going into this what is I'm assuming going to be his last match of his run with Randy Orton. Who do I think is going to win, Jericho or Orton? There's two different ways you can look at this. It looked like he injured himself on Monday. So I don't know if they're gonna expand on that this next couple weeks before the pay-per-view. Make it look like he's going into the pay-per-view hurt, so which means if Randy Orton destroyed him at the pay-per-view, rode him off of television like they did with Dean Ambrose. Man, or are they going to have him go out a winner? It's either way. In my opinion, I think it would work. I think if it's still going to be a good match. Chris Jericho, pretty much almost whoever he has a match with, even that one he did with Fandango a couple of WrestleManias ago, was great. It was a great match. And this obviously is going to be another classic with Orton. So, man. All right. I'm gonna say Chris Jericho wins it, but then Randy Orton hurts him at the end of the match, and that's how they're gonna send him off, is injured or whatever, defeated in a sense, physically. So I think Chris Jericho's gonna pull out the win and the successful run. I think it only makes sense considering he just got beat by Bray Wyatt, but we also don't know what's going to happen on Monday, but we'll see. Next, we're talking about Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. This is, I think it's been more of an authority is trying to get rid of Roman Reigns, which I think is going to continue some way, shape, or form after this pay-per-view. But for now, it's like Seth Rollins wants to destroy the rest of the Shield, just like he got rid of Dean Ambrose. And he made that very evident the last few weeks of what he's trying to do. Man, this is a tough one. Either one who wins this one, it's not going to hurt them. In a sense, it's not going to hurt their push. Seth Rollins is still going to be Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns is still going to be one of the top baby faces. I got a feeling Roman's going to come out on top of this one. I really do. And I think that will lead to a rivalry even deeper into the Authority. Hence, something big down the road, maybe with Triple H. Would love to see that. I'm sure you guys would too. So I'm going to say Roman Reigns wins this one. Seth Rollins is still Money in the Bank, destined to be champ someday, in my opinion. All right, next we got Rusev versus Mark Henry. I guess I was wrong a few times about Rusev. It seemed like at some point I thought Jack Swagger was going to beat him somewhere in the last couple of pay-per-views. Obviously, I was wrong. It looks like they're giving him quite the push. Is Rusev undefeatable? No, I'm sure he's going to get beaten somewhere down the road, but when and by whom is yet to be seen. I like this rivalry with Mark Henry, two massive guys, and honestly, when you put up Mark Henry next to Rusev, it looks like Mark Henry's going to squash Rusev like a bug. But I have a feeling Mark Henry is not going to get the job done. Whether this rivalry lasts a couple months, I don't know. Could even lead to Big Show versus Rusev, seeing as Henry and Big Show are kind of like a tag team now, two guys together, which would help Rusev, I think, in the long run, make him look like a pretty solid wrestler, beating all the big guys, and true wrestling talent like Jack Swagger, who's a good wrestler. So yeah, I think Rusev pulls off this one. Rusev beats Mark Henry at Night of Champions. And the last 5 matches are actual championship matches. So first we're going to talk about the Divas match. We got Paige versus AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella. I don't like the fact that Nikki Bella's in this match, because the more I've been thinking about it leading up to this, I got a real bad feeling about this. Bad feeling meaning, well, first off, let me say, obviously this is meant to shed more light on the Total Divas show. I have not watched the premiere yet. I'll watch it eventually because I think the show is okay. The acting is decent. What I like from last season, it wasn't just BS drama. It was actually dealing with some real life issues. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just saying it was an okay show. So obviously trying to keep the momentum going with the show. Are they going to pull the championship off of the rivalry between AJ Lee and Paige and throw it on a Total Divas diva, Nikki Bella, who has recently turned heel, and then have her and her sister fight for the championship? And just thinking about that right there, I got a feeling that's what they're doing. I could be way off, and they just threw Nikki in because they wanted to throw in someone different. But AJ Lee and Paige have a great rivalry. I've heard some people say that they're bored with Paige. If you're bored with Paige, I don't know what you want in a diva. I mean, she's really. I really enjoy the whole crazy versus crazy. You know, who does crazy better? Is Paige doing crazy better, or is AJ doing crazy better? Um, and honestly, I'd say it's about a tie right now, with the exception that I think AJ is a little more creepy because she's been doing it longer. Like she gives you that look, and then she smiles, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna walk away now because she's 4'0" and scaring the crap out of me. Anyways, so uh, so Paige is the champ versus AJ Lee and Nikki Bella. I don't want her to become champ, but I have a bad feeling they're gonna make Nikki Bella um, champ. Got a bad feeling. So I don't want her champ, but I got a feeling Nikki Bella is going to become champ. So that's my prediction. Um, Next, we're going to talk about the United States Championship. This has the potential to be one of the best matches of the night as well, between Cesaro and the United States champ Sheamus. Some people can't stand Sheamus. I like Sheamus. I think he's okay, but I think Cesaro is definitely one of the, I'd say, I'd put him in the top 5, possibly top 3 list of wrestlers on the roster right now. And they've been, giving him a real slow push, which is fine. Some people are like, oh, Cesaro should be world champion right now. Yeah, well, just because the guy is great doesn't mean he's ready to be champ right now. Do I think it'll happen someday? Yeah, I think it will. When? I don't know. But I don't think the time for Cesaro to be like WWE World Heavyweight Champ is like right now. So for now, him going for a belt like this for the second time, I think he's already been United States champion. I can't remember if he's been United States champ or Intercontinental champ, excuse me. He's been United States champ. And that was when he was with Oksana, I believe. I was just trying to think who else was champ around that time. And I think Kofi took it from him, and then he didn't have it long, and then Dean Ambrose became champ. I think that's how that went. Sorry, just going off on a tangent. Brain's just All right, back to this: Cesaro versus Sheamus. See what happens when I make these decisions live. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so this is the first time that Sheamus has been champ. If they give it to Cesaro, this would make him a 2-time United States champion. I really like the sound of that. It's going to be a good brawl. I've got a feeling Cesaro's going to take it. I really think he's a better choice for this one. So, yeah, I'm marking it right now. Cesaro beats Sheamus for the United States Championship. Intercontinental Championship. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. This has been fun. Not hilarious, but fun. The fact that they've kind of taken Damian Sandow out of the whole I'm going to change my gimmick every 5 minutes, and now he put him as The Miz's sidekick or stunt double or whatever. It's been fun to watch. him get included in this. It seems like he has. I don't know. I don't know if I'd consider The Miz and Damian Sandow an actual tag team, because I don't think they've been used like that yet that I can remember. But unless it was on SmackDown and I missed it. Um, but it's been fun to watch. I like the rivalry. It's nice to see Dolph as champ. I don't see Dolph losing his championship against Miz at Night of Champions. Um, there are some little rumors going around that the next guy up for an IC championship shot could be Bray. That would be incredible. Because I don't, they're, he's not, he's actually not part of this pay-per-view, which is surprising, unless they do something next week. And then it could change, but if it's added last minute, then it really doesn't mean much, does it, unfortunately? Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. I think Dolph definitely keeps this one, and I'm going to try to keep my thoughts about rumors out of it for my decision. So yeah, nonetheless, Dolph's a good champ, at least for now. He's going to stay champ. Oh, tag team championship match between the Usos, who are the tag champs, and Stardust and Goldust. This has been fun. The evolution of Stardust with Goldust. Cody Rhodes has gone through some different characters over the last handful of years. He was a good guy, and then he was a bad guy. He was with Orton, and then he was on his own. Then he tagged with his brother, and it was really cool. Then there were rumors that he was going to be a rival against his brother, and we didn't see that. That's not to say that it couldn't happen yet. But for now, I like this, Just when you thought they were going to turn Cody heel and separate him from Goldust and make a big rivalry out of it, then in my opinion, it still should have happened at Mania, but that's okay. They go and do this to Cody Rhodes and make him Stardust, and craziest character on the roster, in my opinion, by far. Just out there, wacko, and he does it really well. I mean, it's like Cody Rhodes does this character Stardust so well, it's almost like he's had it bottled up for a long time, and all of a sudden, boom, out comes Stardust. Like, whoa. Well, that being said, seeing Stardust and Goldust together as a tag team, and they've turned to the dark side. And they started getting nasty and doing dirty deeds and stuff. And I don't know about this whole thing with the Usos. I don't remember which one it was, Jay or Jimmy. Which one has the messed up leg. I don't know if that's just to create sympathy for the tag champs. I don't know. I don't know if it's legit or not. But nonetheless, the rivalry's been good. It's been fun to watch. I really think Stardust and Goldust are going to come out on top of this one. New tag team champions. Looking back at the decisions I just made, it looks, in my opinion, looks like we could have several new champions at this pay-per-view, and that'd be great. I'm all for that. I don't want them to change it up every month, because then that particular champ doesn't mean much. But I think it could happen. I don't think it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt the championship itself if that happens at this pay-per-view. Excuse me. Last but certainly not least, WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. And this last Monday Night Raw, which saw probably one of the better promos cut by John Cena we have in a long time. A lot of times when he cuts promos like this, people say, oh, he's boring, he's dull. This seemed about as real of a promo as he would have cut in eons. It really broke down that barrier, and he really explained why he is who he is. Obviously, the powers above are going to make him who he is, but nonetheless, it sounded like the most legit thing he's said in a long time, as far as his character and who he is and what he does in the company and outside of the company. And I also have to give credit where credit is due, Paul Heyman. I know some people are getting sick of Paul Heyman. I still think what Paul Heyman is doing with Brock Lesnar is gold. The fact that he can carry that champion. Yes, I said carry the champion. Because Brock does his thing in the ring. That's wonderful. But don't you dare put a mic in his hand. That's what Heyman's for. And that's smart. That's smart business. That's the way it should be, for, not all managers and wrestlers. But I think, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think it's something that's missing a lot from today's product. Where the hell are all the managers? There used to be so many good managers. Lou Albano, Jimmy Hart, Bobby Heenan. You fill in the rest. You know who they are. And Heenan's one of the last, Heyman's one of the last of the greats that are around, And that's not to say he's going to be done anytime soon. The guy's pretty young. He's a few years older than me. He's 48. So he's got a lot left in him. He's been around a long time, but he's got a ways to go. He'll be good. Years to come. But Brock, man, I don't see Brock losing at Night of Champions. The only way that I see John Cena winning is if they're going to strip him immediately and Rollins cashes it in. But I don't think that's going to happen. Because I think it's too soon for that. Like I've said before, I don't know if Brock is going to stay champion till WrestleMania. That seems like a long time for him. You have to come up with enough competitors to make legit championship defenses. And I don't know if there are that many guys on the roster to do that. I can only name a few off the top of my head that would seem legit in my opinion, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to focus on this pay-per-view right here. All right, I'm just going to say it. I think Brock wins. Not going to go off on a wild, harebrained scheme and think, oh no, 20 different things are going to happen and whatever. No, I think Lesnar's going to keep it. He'll be champ for a while, maybe longer. Could be till next year, but we'll see. So that's it. That's my predictions. Who do you think is going to stay champ and or win if they're not a champ at Night of Champions? Thanks for watching, guys.